Hey, everybody, welcome in. It is showtime. And today's story is everybody seems to be talking all of a sudden about the fact that maybe Contagion is complete. So let's see what we can find out. And let's look at a couple of points of reference and find out what's going on in the world. So, first of all, as always, this is edutainment, never investment advice. So, CNBC come out today and say, Bitcoin tops 22,000 as crypto market hopes Contagion and shakeout is over. Ether has been on fire. We talked about it a few times. Went above $1,500 twice today, which is pretty impressive considering where it came from. And remember, Ethereum was, let me just go back to see exactly how low it was. Not too long ago, Ethereum shot down to turn off my percentages. Hang on, it was 900 and $854. It's nearly doubled from where it was, which is quite astounding. Now, other bottom signs, I did do a video on the Pi cycle bottom a few days ago. I'll add a link up there in a minute. And Sam Bankman-Fried said as well a couple of weeks ago that the worst is behind us, and he has his fingers in everything. He knows exactly where the bodies are buried, where the cascading liquidations could come from. Meyer multiple, also, it's only been at this level 5 times in the history of Bitcoin. We are smashing up against that 200-week moving average, which I spoke about in DCA last week. That is proving to be heavy, and the week before, actually, proving to be pretty heavy resistance. And of course, we're at the magical previous cycle top, which is 20,000. So what else is going on? So CoinMarketCap reclaimed, for all crypto, reclaimed 1 trillion. And ETH has, again, is a big part of that. And because of that, certain things change. We'll talk about some of the dynamics that's happening with altcoins as well. Now, Raoul Pal was in. He talked about the fact that the crypto is the low in, and his view is, on balance, probably. Now, when you look at some of the stuff that he mentioned here in his tweet, have bond yields topped? Probably. I talked about the 10-year actually in yesterday's Q&A, and macro turn is pretty close. Could that be code for a pivot? Wow, that would be cool, because I believe the Fed have to pivot. Now, if you look at the gains since the panic and 3 hours capital liquidation, which had the huge cascading effect, taking out, hurting everybody like Genesis, Babel, BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager, you name it. The returns, Bitcoin's up 24%. Ethereum, 71%. That's nearly 3 times the return of Bitcoin. Solana, 64%. Avalanche, 77%. Polkadot, 26%. Aave, 116%. And Uniswap, 131%. We'll talk a bit more about some of the data behind the Dexes as well, and how the sexes with a C are comparing to the Dexes as well. So speaking of Raoul Pal, they have a thing called the Real Vision bot, which I thought was interesting. And this bot's newest data finds that traders' risk appetite has increased slightly compared to last week. And some of the changes were very interesting. So it still recommends heavy loads of Bitcoin at 40%, Ethereum, and then Solana and Matic all at 30% of your portfolio, which is interesting. And you can see they also recommend to be underweight certain other names. But it was nice to see Solana in the 2nd position and Hedera Hashgraph as well slotted into the 3rd position on this particular tool too. Now, Raoul Pal has called the bot's historic performance astonishing, because he says the bot outperforms the aggregate bucket of top cryptos on the crypto market cap by 20%, which is pretty impressive. So let's jump a little bit further. Speaking of Matic, somebody said, how come you don't talk about Matic anymore? Well, I do when it's relevant, but there was news today that is newsworthy. And as I say, the future is mobile. It has been for over a decade now, so it's nothing new. But after Solana announced their phone saga, all of a sudden, Matic talked about having a partnership with a phone called the Nothing Phone version 1. That's it on the right. If you haven't heard of the Nothing Phone Company, either have I. So hopefully it's not a Nothing Burger, but they will be set to release their phone pretty soon, as reported by CoinDesk. And Sandeep Nawal, the co-founder of Polygon, felt it is a very positive development, and it's very encouraging as well to see the fact that they can bring Web3 into people's mobile devices and giving them direct access to pay by Web3 and do things with NFTs, etc., which is a big part of what Polygon's doing too. So again, how many more cryptos are going to jump onto the mobile bandwagon? I expect a lot. Let's look at the market cap real quick. This is the most interesting thing. The bottom number in the bottom left corner, Bitcoin dominance at 40.29%, which is staggering. This slide is about an hour old, so the numbers are different. Ethereum is already over 1,500 right now, and everything else is kind of green with some of the stable coins. Well, some dark green too. Cardano's dark green, Avalanche is dark green, Near is dark green, Ethereum is dark green, Matic is dark green. So a lot of these things are doing really well. Let's talk about the 7-day performance of these numbers, because it's been pretty astounding. Matic is up 55% over the last week. Ethereum, 30%. Depends on which day you actually measured it, because I calculate as a lot more than 30% now. Avalanche, 24%. Elrond and Solana are all up 14% over the last week, but it looks like Ethereum is leading the pack as we go forward. Now, the other big question is, are we in altcoin season? And you can see here, Bitcoin season is typically when the scale here is under 25. Currently, we're at 33, and altcoin season is when it's above 75. But seeing the Bitcoin dominance down at 40% is pretty astounding. And people are going heavy, heavy, heavy risk on. Not only did the Real Vision bot say that, but this says that too. And so does the weak Bitcoin dominance. Now, on that note, this is interesting. I came across this article. I think it was the former head of Messenger. He said Bitcoin is the most secure and trusted form of decentralized store of value and settlement. And that made me think, what about gold? Because that is supposed to be the pristine store of value out there. So when you look at this market cap numbers versus price, I thought it'd be interesting to do a little small analysis for you all today. First of all, gold, number one, 11.247 trillion market cap. Price of gold is $1,704 an ounce, which is really weak. If we scoot across to some of our other favorite names, we've got Google in there, Amazon, silver, Tesla. I shouldn't say silver. I don't invest in silver, but it's there. And Bitcoin has fallen all the way down the list to number 16. Remember, it used to be in the top 10 for a long time. The market cap at the time of this slide is 398, call it $400 billion. And the price, just 21K. So what I did was put together a little table. What would happen? Because a lot of people are talking about, okay, Bitcoin market cap is one day very soon going to be half the market cap of gold. The question is, what price would it be when it hits that? So I put together a little percentage, and I calculated out where we are today with gold at $1,700 an ounce with a market cap of 11.247 trillion. Bitcoin, call it 400 billion, 21,500. These are the numbers when I put this table together. And Bitcoin at X gold market cap. So today we are at 3.63% of gold's market cap. So that's weak as hell. So the reason for this is a lot of people are thinking, wow. So a lot of people expect the market cap of Bitcoin to equate to that of gold one day, but currently it's only 3% that of gold. Does that sound like a good time to maybe DCA in a little bit? Who knows? Not financial advice, of course, but that is very, very low. 10% of gold's market cap, price is 59,000. 20%, 118. 30%, 180. 40%, 236. 50%, 295. Call it $300,000. And a lot of people believe that will happen in short order. And you've got a lot of people as well talking about 2024, 2025, Bitcoin getting to $500,000. We'll see where this goes, and it's extremely hard to appreciate these types of numbers, especially after the beatdown the market has had. In fact, all markets have had, but a lot of people believe this is possible. And if we get to the equivalent market cap of gold, the price of Bitcoin would be $591,947. Again, these are just numbers. These are not predictions. These are numbers as to what people believe could happen if Bitcoin achieves some level of parity to gold's market cap or even more. And if they find all that gold in Uganda and other places, of course, the market cap of gold is going to go a lot higher. And remember, your currency, fiat, is debasing by at least 14% per year as well. So take that into account. Things will go up anyway. The price of gold has to go up. It's amazing it's so low actually at this stage. And Bitcoin will go up even if nobody else comes into the network. So in other news, there's a lot of talk about Coinbase. But Coinbase did surge today. There's a lot of concern about many different things, but we won't talk about those. We're not here to alarm anybody, and I'm sure you've read and seen and heard everything already. But Coinbase did surge about 14% today in afternoon trading. In fact, it closed only up about 9% after DNB Asset Management initiated an investment in the company and the company stock in Q2. So this happened before. So they bought it pretty cheap. And this is a Norwegian-based company, and it disclosed the investment, and it helped Coinbase soar. Also, what's also happening is the price of Bitcoin is soaring at the same time, which is a good thing. But getting back to Coinbase, there's a lot of things that are making people very nervous, and people are pulling all of their coins off of centralized exchanges, with the exception of Binance. So here, Binance is the gold line, and this is from Will Clemente. This the lead analyst from Blockware Solutions posted this today. And it's a Glassnode chart that compares and contrasts the change in Bitcoin balance on Binance and at Coinbase over time. And you can see the blue line is Coinbase, and it's just going down fast. So everybody I know is pulling everything off exchanges. And there's a little bit of smoke around Coinbase. You know, they cut off some referral program and a bunch of other stuff that has rattled markets. They do have some debt in the balance sheet. And there's some rumors that they don't have enough Bitcoin to cover everything that's on deposit. But I think that's just all FUD and rumors. It is a pretty solid company. But at the same time, better always now to err hard on the side of caution, ladies and gentlemen. So Dexes, what are they doing? Well, they're eating a ton of market share. So this is Uniswap V2 and V3 compared to Coinbase in terms of transaction volume. And you can see they nearly equate per this chart. 49% was the 27%, I think, was the amount in January 2022. Now it's 49%. So people, it's like, okay, CFI died in summer 2022, but you know what thrived? DeFi. It survived without a blink, and it's doing really, really well, and it's gaining more adoption, and people don't trust anything centralized anymore, which is kind of the big takeaway from the message today. So let's talk about BlockFi as well. BlockFi, in the trend of people kind of doing layoffs, all the crypto companies are doing it, but not just those. We'll talk about a few others as well. This is from Decrypt after, I think, BlockFi fired 20% a month or so ago, a few weeks ago. They are now offering people, I think, they also raised money from FTX, about 250 to 400 million, if I recall. But they're also offering employees buyouts as a way to quietly reduce headcount. And they will offer people that work at the company 10 weeks paid leave and 10 weeks of continued health insurance if they quit. So, interesting strategy. But these guys are obviously trying to reduce headcount, and the business is not doing that well. Gemini, they have had their second layoff in what they call extreme cost cutting. The Winklevoss Gemini Trust reportedly cut 10% of employees amid the bear market again a few weeks ago, in line with all the other companies, and another 7% today. And the Winklevoss brothers are focusing heavily on their tour with their band. I think it's called Mars Junction. So that is what they're doing now during the bear market. In addition, it's not just crypto companies that are laying off people or slowing down, but Apple is slowing also. And this is the first time that this happened in a long time. Apple's hiring slowdown has wiped out the stock's gains today. And they have more cash than probably any company on earth, melting away at 14% debasement. So instead of spending it on humans and staff, they are slowing down hiring due to what they call a recession. And so it's so funny. The US government says that we're not in a recession. The economy is very, very strong. But if you look at the best capital allocators in the world, like Apple and Tesla and everybody else, they all see it. They feel it in everything that they do. But the governments have yet to realize we are actually in a recession. Also, Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, Meta, Snap, you name it. Tons of other companies have taken steps in recent weeks to rein in their budgets, decelerate hiring, freeze it all together, or have layoffs. I think Microsoft and Tesla and Meta have actually had some job cuts already. So expect more of this. It is ugly. We are in a recession. Things are going to be bumpy. But remember, by the time the governments, etc., realize we're in a recession, that's typically the bottom of the market. And after that, I do still expect things will change at the Fed. There will be a slowdown in their aggressive rate hike, or a pivot. Has to be before September, October. And I stick with that. We'll see. Either way, if the other choice is financial Armageddon, but we're already in that. So that's why I'm so committed to that thesis. So with that, everybody, see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's Okta on-chain technical analysis day, where we look at a ton of numbers and charts. And thank you all for being here today. And I hope sound and everything is still good as we test out new software, new system, etc. Thanks all. And thanks everybody in the chat, the mods, and all the usual players. Bye all.